11 Jews were murdered at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. It was the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in American history, and its impact was felt in virtually every Jewish community. The shooting also had a personal impact on Fox 43's Matt Maisel, who spoke with local Jewish leaders about where Jews go from here.
Every morning, we gather to pray. We are your neighbors, your co-workers, and your friends. We are your Jewish community, and for the past year, we haven't been the same.
We could
talk a lot in this country about closure, and I think some people anticipate that October 27, 2019 will somehow represent some sort of closure for those families and for that community. But my sense, having spent time there and having kept in touch with some of those families, is that this is a very open wound.
Rabbi Ron Muroff of Hesed Synagogue in Harrisburg is talking about what happened in Pittsburgh 1 year ago. 11 Jews at the Tree of Life Synagogue for Saturday morning Sabbath services, gunned down while praying. Police say the shooter told officers later, "They're committing genocide to my people. I just want to kill Jews." According to the Anti-Defamation League, it's believed to be the deadliest attack on Jews in American history. I sat down with the 4 leaders of the greater Harrisburg Jewish community, Rabbi Muroff, Rabbi Eric Citron of Bethel, Rabbi Peter Kessler of Ohev Shalom, and Rabbi Alicia Friedman of Kesher, Israel, to discuss its impact on our local community.
It obviously was struck home in a way that, a lot of the other mass shootings, it just felt closer. It was a synagogue, it was nearby.
As rabbi, I wanted to assure people as best as I could that this is not the beginning of a nationwide pogrom or some event.
However, attacks on Jews are not only more common, but are nearing record levels. According to the Anti-Defamation League, 2018 saw nearly 1,900 anti-Semitic attacks nationwide. That's the 3rd highest total since the ADL started tracking anti-Semitism in the 1970s. 59 people were victims of anti-Semitic assaults in 2018, nearly 3 times more than the year before. And this data doesn't include what happened at a Poway, California synagogue in April, when 1 person was killed and 3 others injured in a shooting on the last day of the Passover holiday.
How is this different to Jews in our community? The impact that this had on Jews in our community?
Jewish people have been singled out for thousands of years because of anti-Semitism, because of ignorance, because Jews are always a scapegoat.
I think part of the problem, the reason why there's anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim feeling in this country is that often we just don't know people. And I think it's really incumbent upon all of us to get to know our neighbors.
Do each of you feel your congregations are safer today than they were a year ago?
I think our congregation has always been safe. I think people are more vigilant now. People are asking questions about the security we have in our congregation.
For security reasons, the rabbis couldn't go into specifics on security, although sometimes increased security isn't enough, which is why lawmakers here in Harrisburg are looking to strengthen state hate crime laws to make sure something like Tree of Life doesn't happen again.
When a specific group is targeted, like my Jewish community, it brings another dimension.
Pittsburgh State Representative Dan Frankel was only a few blocks away from Tree of Life when the shootings occurred. And in the years since, he's been working on 5 bills that would help police identify hate crimes, protect the LGBTQ community, and create harsher hate crime penalties.
Somebody who might vandalize a stop sign at an intersection is treated the same as somebody who paints a swastika on the side of a synagogue. Hatred is always going to be there, but it should allow people to have a sense that their government is addressing an issue that will help them be safer.
All human beings are created in God's image, and our mission later on in Leviticus is love your neighbor as yourself, no exceptions. And that's just the fundamental principles of Judaism.
On this day, Citron's Bethel congregants are celebrating the harvest holiday of Sukkot. Life goes on for Jews, perhaps stronger than we were a year ago.
What do people need to know about the Jewish community moving forward?
That we are a united community, that we are a strong community, that we are not divisive.
We worship in a certain way that might be different than the majority in this country, but I think certainly our lives and the way we live as people is pretty much, is fairly similar.
There's a rabbinic teaching that the world stands on three things: on Torah, on avodah, and gimilut chasadim, on Torah study, on avodah worship, and on acts of love and kindness. The world would be better if we all learned a little bit more, if we all prayed a little bit more, and if we all did a few more acts of love and kindness.
Federal prosecutors are seeking the death penalty against the man accused in the shootings. A trial date has not yet been set. Meanwhile,